All right. Hello again. So let's work on the SDK. It was really great having the stream this morning. Like I get very what's it called? Constipated. Reflecting on things. It's very nice to start my day, especially over the weekend. I get very constipated, like thought and reflection wise. Um, and yeah, it's nice to just kind of talk through it. But now let's focus on the SDK. So as mentioned, we had a session on Friday, talk through the release, and we don't really have like the SAM pack thing going into the release yet because it's a lot more work we need to do there anyways. And the important thing now is the actual SDK. So there's one more feature that we need to implement, but it relies on an implementation from the API. And today there's a day off in Amsterdam, so we're not getting it today, but we could implement what we can from the client perspective. Yes. So our list, like, oh, where did it go? I have a lot of different things here. Yeah, so I think reset on. Oh, it actually does that. Add new feature to listen to task output. We implemented that on the stream actually. Just gonna give a small. If you are using the beta release of the SDK, you can now look at sandbox.bootup type. You can now look at sandbox.bootup type when you resume a sandbox. This will give you what kind of boot up. This will give you information about how it needed to boot up. If, for example, it had a clean boot up and you expected it to be running or hibernate or waking up from what do we call that thing? Boot up type, boot up type, boot up type, boot up type. Resume. Or be running or resume from hibernation. It indicates an issue in the infra and should be reported as a bug. How it needed to boot up. If, for example, it had a clean boot up and expected it to be running or resume to be running or resume from hibernation. There's very slow. Oh, maybe I shouldn't actually give this feedback. or also when you resume or create assembly. Details on what happened. Let's see. Oh, we have. Sorry about this. I'm doing what I'm not supposed to. I'm jumping into support while I try to focus on something else. But that will give you information about how it needed to boot up. If, for example, so like we're dealing with like a very complex infra, and sometimes you have expectations that a sandbox should immediately resume, but it takes like 30 seconds to boot it up. And that's because it runs a clean boot up. And it does that because it doesn't have a snapshot, or it has a corrupted snapshot. And that's a bug. I'm not sure how. Yeah, the problem is I'll report the specific sample to verify what happened to it. Sorry about the experience. A simple use case will be getting context of this on. More complex. We already sync the. Sorry about this. Yeah, we actually already synced the location. So that is already there. More complex would be editing text inline and sending a write file. And sending a write file from the main app. I'll get to work on this shortly. Thanks for the input. Cool. Yeah, then we have something new on our list. We're gonna implement, like we have something called the preview protocol, which is something we use internally. And I hope we're gonna test this. But the really cool thing is that you can talk to your previews in the SDK. And you can inject scripts in it, and you can efficiently talk back and everything. It's very, very cool how it works. So we're gonna add like a new API here. But first, we are going to, we're first gonna check this one thing. Can I? No, I can't zoom this in. Yeah, we were going through this. Add new feature to listen to task output. Yeah, so I added that, but I don't think that was like the imminent thing the user actually needed. They had an issue with rerunning tasks, and for some reason it didn't dispose of the previous shell. So one thing is that it should, yeah, I think so. That's the customer I'm going to do a session with. So, and then SSH, this is not happening now, but it's going to happen later. There is inconsistent if you check as. Okay, that's fixed. I have to discuss persistence. That's something else. Get a list of companies and contact people. Yeah, I talked about this. Publish static browser server. Let's just do that because I have it here, and then we can close that down. And then where are you? Static. Wait, don't you have you? Development static browser server. So I believe this is ready to be shipped. Git checkout main, git pull. Where are you? GitHub static browser server. Oh, there's a pull request. Oh, yeah, that's something else. Cool. So I think this is actually ready to be shipped. So we're going to try to do a pm build. And I did test this. So we're just going to publish it and just hope everything's fine. I didn't know I had access to all the CodeSandbox packages. I could have done this previously. This is really related to SAMPack, so, but it's nice to just get it done. I don't think anyone else than us is actually using that package. Cool. So we can check that off the list. To check, okay, we don't need that to be able to stop. Be able to stop a running task. What the hell? You can stop a running task. Right? Sessions, WebSocket session, tasks, stop, get tasks, run task, listen to shell out. Oh. Yeah, no, you can't stop a task. We actually have that. Wonder why. Anything, stop task. Task ID. I'm pretty sure we have it. This.picture client. Stop task, yeah. Does this return a task? Okay. Wait. This is task or null? Okay. If task. Okay, I don't think we're gonna return anything. It's kind of weird that we return the task. Let's just do this. Cool. So we added that. Could we allow changing the workspace path? Oh, that's a different thing. Implement task listening and rerun. Yeah, we did that. Oh yeah, add command to shell to actually run a command. Yeah, so what we've seen is that a lot of people on shells, they're saying write, and then they expect it to run. Oh, by the way, we need to go through the issues. But I think we should do like run, async run, because you have to manually add like the enter here. Actually, we're gonna look at the issues first. See if, because there was a couple of let's see, SDK. There was a couple of issues related to this. So we're gonna go through Python SDK. Yeah, I have an issue with, I haven't concluded on how we're gonna expose the API yet, the REST API. Because there are some things I think we need a manual implementation. And then we'll just have to manually implement that in the Python SDK as well, because you need to be able to like create and resume and like do the management API of a sandbox we need to do. But then we can rely on just using the yeah, that's going to be more tricky because we need to document it as well. And I want to generate the documentation for the REST API. But we're only going to do it for the actual sandbox API, not the management of the sandbox. That needs to be part of like the actual SDK. Yeah. So yeah, so this hi again. Sorry about late answer here, but adding Ben as a default required a lot of updates to our existing templates. And it got left on the back burner. And it got left behind. I want to recommend you to create your own template by simply forking our default template, install bun, and then rather use that template as a basis, as the default. The default template is just default, and we want to encourage creating custom templates for your own needs as the needs vary. We will shortly have an update to our snapshot feature, which will deploy templates to all our deploy custom templates to all our clusters as well. Okay, I'm going to close that for now, or I'm going to update it and say, if you have any more questions, please let me know. Smiley, tell my partner that all the time. Just add a smiley. Arrow with simple sandbox creation. I mean, did you explore this more? Okay, so no answer there yet, but I did see some activity here, so I think creating bash. Oh. It is definitely, what the hell? It is definitely a common pitfall. I'll update the docs, but was also thinking about adding a shell.run type of thing that adds the execution part of it. You think run is a good name, or should we just document? Cool. That's nice. How can I add environment variables? Yeah, we're still working on exposing. Wait. Oh yeah. That's fine. That's the same thing. Okay, let's just keep that open a little bit more. How can I add environment? How to destroy a sandbox? Yeah, we talked about allowing pro users. We are discussing allowing pro users to delete sandboxes. I'll keep you posted. Okay, let's add that to the list. Generate. Oh my God. Yeah, we also need to allow you to set a dimension. I did follow up on shells. It's not proxying, it's forking. Reverse forking. I've asked about that, so let's remove that. Also allow setting dimensions. Okay, cool. Yeah. Discuss deleting sandboxes. How to destroy a sandbox. Add environmental support to sandbox. Okay, I did get an answer on that. I'm sorry, how different is the inject and invoke callback to a script mounted in the DOM? It is basically same thing. It only makes things more accessible. I might have, it will be released on the next beta version of SDK later today or latest tomorrow. Given we, yeah, I think that's fair to say. Yeah, and then what's the environment variables? Like we, what did Eva say here? So, do we allow? In an isolated session. Okay, so we do. Putting secrets in is that they are not encrypted. We also have a specific. Yeah. Okay, let's just write it down. Yeah, it's interesting. Like in the web, like I guess there's different ecosystems, like language ecosystems, and then you have web development ecosystems. I really see, and I guess I'm kind of coming in from the JavaScript, TypeScript side. I guess there's like parts of the cake of the web development ecosystem, and I'm like in the part of the cake, like this is a bad analogy, but part of the cake that is like JavaScript, TypeScript developers. So I rarely get exposed to C# in that world. But then again, like this isn't directly web development. So yeah, so maybe that's the thing. It's like we're kind of, but again, like looking at like SDKs being developed, like even OpenAI, right? Does OpenAI have a C# SDK? Let's install. Oh, they do. Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Yeah, maybe it's just us, like we're so like coming from the web development world. And mostly been building like dev tools for web related to web development, I would say. And that's kind of why it's not front and center. And the reason Python is coming up before C# is really because of Together AI and the whole like AI. Python is the thing. Typically you get Python versions first. But yeah, it's interesting. But I would, yeah, it would be interesting to if there's like a graph of like, see like, yeah. I guess you could look at the popularity of the language itself, but that's the thing. Like some languages are used for so many other things. Like JavaScript, TypeScript is like over 99% is web. And then Python is like some percentage research, some percentage web. Yeah. So it depends like what your SDK is for. And yeah, as I said, we've typically just developed for web. So it's kind of intuitive to go to JavaScript. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to streamline building up the docs for the REST API. And then it's going to be, so what I'm thinking is that we have the Open API spec for the REST API for sandboxes. But there's a part that's also management of the sandbox, which is like resuming it, creating it, hibernating it, etc., which is not really bound to that interaction with the sandbox. So I'm thinking about using a tool to generate documentation for the different languages for the actual REST API, and then manually implement the management in each language, because that's very, very minimal. And we need to do that because it's like just creating the session and all of that is like just shoving that into some generic API documentation doesn't make sense to me. It's a really bad start, I think, or like a introduction to it. So yeah, I think we're gonna explore that. And then, yeah, there's been a big ask for Python, but it would be fun to try to do C# as well. Just, yeah, that would be fun. But I want to get like that streamline thing in first. Where was I? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can. So I just promised a preview API, but let's try to get that done. And then maybe we can do that tomorrow. Generate the documentation, because that should be simple. I found some packages that does that. Just generate the documentation, and then we could try like C# before Python as a but it's like, for me, it helps like having an imminent need that motivates me to build things. It makes it more fun to build something because you know someone's going to try it when you've done it, which is why it's so fun to, like, I did a session with a user of the SDK earlier today, learning so much about like how they use it and how we can make things more accessible. And yeah, but I can't remember. Awesome. Cool. I think we were actually just gonna start implementing or following this list. Remove get preview. Yeah. So I found this usage of get preview URL in documentation that we shouldn't have. Where's the docs? Shell docs. Did I work more on this? I can't remember. Yeah, I did. Okay, so let's see. Oh, maybe I actually removed it. No, that should be URL. And this should be URL. This should be. That should be URL. Oh, wait a minute. Is this? Oh, this is ports. Oh, wait a minute. Get preview URL? Okay, just 2 seconds. Because we changed this port thing to be simpler. WebSocket session, ports. So a port now is just the port and the URL. Get open ports. Yeah, no, it should just be that. Port host name. This is the URL. Oh, sorry, get preview URL. Oh, get for a specific port. Oh, that's just yeah, this is the thing. I don't quite. That was too like there's something too high of an abstraction. But did we have get? Wait, sorry, maybe we didn't have this. No, get preview URL ports. Get preview. I'm confused now. Get preview. Oh, sorry. Okay, I think we should remove this as well. I don't want to call this preview. This is just ports. It's wrong to call it preview because it might be a port to a API or something. It doesn't make any sense. So I want this to be low level, and we're actually going to introduce a new namespace called preview. So we could rather do stuff like that there. Yeah, so I'm going to remove that thing. And let's see, docs. So we're not going to have this. We're just going to have port URL. Server is ready at. No, we don't have this anymore. Wait for the server to be ready. Start it. Okay. Port info.url, port info, port. URL without protocol. Port info or const URL. Sorry. URL equals HTTPS plus apply protocol to the URL. Like it might be WebSocket, so it might be a different protocol. So that's why we just have the URL. So this would be URL. Okay. Fixed. Oh, I should have made so I could tick them off anyways. Okay, and we're gonna add to the let's see if we got some feedback on that. Let's see. I'm just gonna copy link. Oops. Copy link. Anyone available to look at this? Here. Cool. Yes, so we have minimize shells. They are gonna get their own shell instance. Get, let's do ID get type. Oops, shell type for some reason. Okay, we're exposing shell type. And then I think we're gonna do run. I think it's a good idea. Promise void. So it's basically, it's very much a convenience. This dot write input plus /n. But we need to pass in the dimensions. So dimension, this is very interesting how it works, because when you write something to, I can't remember what they call it. Like you have the actual underlying process, and then you have like almost like a virtual shell running on top of it. And that virtual shell has like a virtual size. And what you would typically do here is like you're running Xterm in the browser, and then that Xterm has a size, and that's typically dynamic. Like the user might change the size of it. Oh, by the way, that's something I'm gonna explore. Explore resizing shells. And then you need to pass those new dimensions to the server. And I remember us working on this because we had collaborative terminals. Collaborative terminals is difficult because there's a single process and a single virtual shell in the VM or in the sandbox. But then you have two users sharing a shell, and one of them has a smaller view than the other. And the actual output of this is based on actual columns and rows. So that was... I guess long story short, like you can't, I don't know how to solve that. You would really have to actually run like a virtual shell per. Yeah, I guess that's the solution. You run like a single shell process, but then you have maybe virtual. Yeah, I'm not actually sure at what level. Like, do you actually pass the dimensions all the way through? I can't remember, but I don't think we quite solved it, at least not at the time. So we're gonna give this some dimensions. We need to document that. Yeah, and this also has dimensions. Yeah, it can have dimensions. Let's call this default dimensions. Oh, this is a big file. Oh, look at this. We already have default shell size. Then I think we should use that. Default shell size. What are the other places we did this? Open. Yeah, that's interesting. Shell run options. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so now we have type on the shell. we need to write some guide on actually working with shells, because this has been a bit confusing for our users. Like, shells are difficult to create a good user experience around, so you can totally understand. Clean up, yeah. So those are the simple things, I think. Improve shells. I think I want to have a list of what I need to document. Shells in general. Plus type plus run. Using shells. Yeah. There's a fly in here. One of those small ones. Yeah, resizing shells, that's not a priority now. Okay, we're going to look at one thing first. What we're seeing is that when we're running setup scripts or setup tasks, they're run as commands. And when they finish, they aren't removed from the shells list. And I'm wondering why. So we're going to actually use our little test project here. Localhost 74. No, so many projects. Oh, come on. No, it's not that one. No. Do I even have a 6? No. Okay, here we have it. Cool. So we're gonna do we're gonna list out the shells here. Yeah, console.log sandbox.shells.get shells. Is that, I guess that's async, yeah. Oh, look at us having a shit ton of shells. Where are these coming from? Yeah, so here you can see there's a bunch of shells here, which is related to setup task. That's a setup task. This is a setup task. Shell. That's a setup task. Shell. pm dev. Oh, it's even killed. Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm wondering why we... I think... Yeah, we shouldn't have these in the list, but I think this is quite a breaking change. Yeah, well, at least it's an open question. Like, you might want to still show it in the UI if shell is killed or finished, or but not if it's a command. That's the thing. Not if it's a command. You don't want that because it's finished, and you can still listen to shell updates to know when their status changed. So, because we do have on shell status, right? On shell state. Yeah, on shell is updated. So you can listen to that. Well, can you listen to that? Yeah, on shell updated emitter. So you can listen to those states, but we should definitely remove it from the list of shells when they're killed or finished if it's a command. So I don't think we do that inside Pitcher. Let's see if we can figure that out. By the way, I would love to get rid of all these. What are we using here? Is it PMPM? I'm not sure if I can. No, I don't have access to these things. Whatever. Git checkout clean shells. let's see if we can figure this out. So, I'm a little bit afraid of this. Task provider. So what I think is that we should be able to, like, just generically inside the shell provider, yeah, here we have, oh, look at this. This dot shells delete, but this kill all shells. Where is this used? What is this used for? Restart setup tasks. Yeah, like, why don't we? This is used, stop containers for all users. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, so interesting. Okay, so these shells, are these, why does it check the type? We should reuse that. Oh, interesting. We should reuse the ID as it's remembered by the editor. Okay, but this is not true anymore. I think this is a legacy thing, and we should definitely not we should reuse the ID. But we're killing it. Doesn't that mean you can't use it anymore? Oh no, because if it's a terminal, you can still. Okay, interesting. But what I don't understand is, like, if you kill a command, you can't use it anymore. I'm just going to create a PR for this because I don't understand this. We should always dispose of it. Because it's shell exit. We delete it. Yeah, I'm going to create a PR and rather do the discussion there. I often do that. When I'm not sure about something, instead of starting a discussion, I rather just create a PR. Because then people understand, especially if it's multiple code changes, because then people understand better what I'm trying to do. And then there's just a bunch more context in the discussion. Okay, so that was kill all shells. But command, if type create command shell undid exit. If no command, terminal created, size, add client on dispose, dispatch, send result. Okay. This create. So when we create a terminal shell, I would expect us to, like, add it to shells. Does the same happen on create command shell? Yeah. So we add that. That's fine. The thing is, like, why don't we remove it? So I would expect on shell, don't we have shell kill? Or is it called delete? No. Create, oh, exit. Open, close, restart. Terminate, sorry, we call it terminate. It gets the shell, and then it deletes the shell. And then it disposes of it. Well, we shouldn't delete it until it's successfully disposed, though. Well, I don't have to change that. Okay. So why? So this is terminate. What do we actually do in the SDK when we try to, well, I guess it's not SDK. This would be, well, let's check the SDK first. So I think we delete it. And what does delete do? Oh yeah, that's just in the underlying SDK. So where are you at? I need a much more efficient way of navigating between these windows, I feel. Yeah, so this is stuff we're going to look at shortly. Let's see. So picture client, source, VM, not website clients, shell client. So when we delete, what do we do? Yeah, it's terminate. And then this.delete shell. Delete. We terminate it. Why do we call this delete shell? Oh, sorry. This is a local state. So we just immediately remove it from the list, but then close shell. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, but we terminate it. Now the question is, what happens on picture when we run setup? Or, sorry, when we create command shell, we just want to generally get rid of it when it's done. So register shell listener, and when they exit, kept because information, or they can be restarted. Okay, this is interesting. Because I was wondering if we should implement this in the actual client. Like, should we just filter them out from the list? Terminal shells are removed from the list and disposed by the command shells are kept because information might be relevant, or they can be restarted. I think this is legacy stuff. I think we should have consistent behavior between terminals and commands. Because even though you can restart it, it doesn't matter. Like, this is up to the client to decide what they want to do. Because even if you restart it, what does shell restart do? Yeah, it's killing it and creating a new. Shell killed, process.kill. Yeah, I wanna I'm gonna create this PR and I'm gonna argue that we should terminal if And I'm just going to ask the question, basically. I don't think it should be up to us to decide how shells should work. If you want to keep a reference, we even clear the thing. So if you want to rerun a command, you should just but does even restart make any sense then? Because restart requires, in what state could a shell be restart? Well, you can, yeah, but I think this is legacy, being able to restart a shell. Because even in the setup, or sorry, the where was this? Task provider. Like, yeah, we have the debouncer. Even when we start a task, we kill the shell first. We don't restart the shell. We completely dispose of the old task process and create a new shell. So we don't even restart it there. So I think this can actually help. So we can still have restart here, but I'm not sure if there's a case where it actually makes sense. But yeah. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna create a PR for this. Git add source. Remove all shells when killed. Fit. Wait, rather restart task shells? Okay, where did that come from? Oh, it's not my... Why doesn't it... That's funny. It actually goes to the wrong thing. Feed, well, I guess fix. Clean all shells that are killed. I got feedback that it was confusing that we show shells, command shells that are killed or finished, especially with looking through our code. I believe picture keeping killed finished command shells around is a legacy client behavior thing. We do not want that behavior now. The client needs to everything disposes and starts a new shell now. Also setup tasks. So want to argue we have consistent behavior, and if a client wants to keep some restart of commands, they just need to use a task or deal with they just need to use a task or deal with keeping a reference unrelated to the current shell. Okay, that's going to be our PR. Let's do Evis and Joji. And I'm just going to share this. Oh. Let's see. Eva's Georgie. Okay, what do you guys think about this fix? Let's see, get this picture, pull request. History here, but I think this makes things more consistent, and user was confused by behavior. Cool. So now we have that thing. Remove. Oh yeah, I had some logs. Let's see if we can find that. Console.log. That's the build fork. Oh, that's fine. List. What's this? If show headers. Oh yeah, sorry, that's preview token. Oh, interesting. Oh, we need to fix this. I moved the preview tokens. Oh, why is this wrong now? Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, good thing we found that. Shut down. There we go. On shell created. Yeah, I was debugging something. Shipped it. It's not the first time. And we even have a what the fuck. Good thing it's a beta publish. Let's see. Oh, look at this. We kind of broke in this thing. But is this coming from, what's this file? Oh, bin commands. Oh yeah, I didn't go through all this. So that was list. Now we have preview tokens. Yeah, I was complaining because argument it's not, or undefined. Yeah, this should be undefined. Who? Options expires at. Oh. Wait. Oh, it should be like actual options. Oh, sorry, expires at. There we go. Oh, it's not on Sandbox anymore. Not on Sandbox anymore. Not on Sandbox anymore. One thing about this preview namespace we're going to introduce is that it really only makes sense in the browser. But I think that's okay. I think. Are these okay? Yeah, I think the other ones are okay. Oh, these are not okay. So this would be. Oh. Look at me breaking stuff. API client. Do we have an API client here? Yeah. So this would be SDK.sandbox, sandbox ID. Oh. Oh, yeah. We're just exposing the types now. Trying that, see. Oh, we don't even really. Oh, we don't. Throw port info. What does this mean? There's no port info. Oh, we should rather. What is it with evens and the negative? I don't like, why doesn't it check instance of error instead? It's so funny. Yeah, it's very interesting. So this would be fetch HTTPS plus port info. Oh, that's interesting. Doesn't this give... Oh, it's unknown. Why is it unknown? Shouldn't this be a union? New promise void. Does that fix it? Oh, maybe that's why I was conflicted about this. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, but you know, I think we should just rather resolve it as an error. Oh, you can't resolve? Oh, yeah, sorry. So we say error, like that. And then it works. So this will be sdk.sandbox, sandbox.id. Okay, cool. I think we're gonna go through this later anyways. But now we're gonna do something fun. We're gonna implement our preview protocol. And now, how are we gonna do that? So first of all, our WebSocket session needs a preview TS. And then export class, I guess, preview. Do we call them? Okay, we call it, okay, sorry, rename previews. So we're gonna still have a preview, but export class previews. That's gonna be like the management API of this. And then we need to be able to create a preview, and that's gonna take like, you might have an existing iframe you want to use. So I think we're going to do iframe equals document create element iframe. So what was the spec of this? Nice. We just got a support ticketing system. That's nice. What the hell were we doing? Oh yeah, I need to find the thread. So the idea is to have a preview where we can get the URL. We can inject and invoke. We're going to check the type for that. We can refresh. We can forward. Oh. Back. And then you just change the URL if you want to do something else. Or like go to... yeah, or maybe... yeah. So I think we can do a get path and set path. Yeah. Well, I guess location is more the right term. Now, it should be based on the Navigator API. Well, what does that look like? Navigation, sorry. So we have forward, yeah. We have back. Do we say URL? No. We say location, right? No. What do we say? Wait. Entries on Navigate. Reload. Why isn't there like a... why doesn't it say where you're at? Wait, no, it's Navigator, sorry. Oh, okay. Navigator? No. Navigation? It's navigation, right? I thought it had... yeah, sorry. So it's we should call it reload. Reload, forward, back, and I guess... oh, sorry, it's called location. So we should have... yeah. Location. Yeah, let's just do get location. I'm a little bit unsure how we're going to do that. Can you actually change these? Like just change the origin and stuff? Or are these read-only? Oh, so you can also do location reload. Can you do forward? No. Okay, that's a little bit all over the place. Maybe we shouldn't do location. Maybe we should get origin, stuff like that. Get path. Because you don't want to change... yeah, whatever. And you know the protocol and everything. This is kind of weird to not... yeah, let's just do origin and then set path for now. So we're creating this iframe or getting it. And the thing we need... the thing we need now... oh, how are we going to do this? Because we are installing picture client here. Ugh, do we need to move the whole... where do we have it? Docs shall SDK test. This is picture. Okay, so we have something called preview script. This is the thing that we're using. Message from DevTool to preview. And I think these are... yeah. So we're going to use these. Set URL to DevTool, reload, focus file. So we don't actually have... oh yeah, so this is Sampack message. Yeah, so I think set URL, that's the one we want, and reload, but we don't want to DevTool. I think that's something else. Okay, so we're definitely going to have these, but then we have preview protocol, and I don't know if this is something we actually have published. We might have to copy it over. CodeSandbox. Let's take a look. Let's keep that one. So we have something here called the preview protocol. Package JSON. What does it depend on? It just says dev depends. Oh, React DevTools inline. I wonder if we should just copy it over. Because the whole point here is that we're really gonna like move away from this internal stuff. So I'm gonna make a decision. I'm actually gonna copy this whole thing over. Copy. CodeSandbox SDK. And where are we gonna put it? Wait a minute. I don't think we should even... Oh, come on. I think we should just take the source code of it. Config. Yeah. HTTP patch. Yeah, and then we're going to add the React DevTools. Maybe we'll remove that because it's such an exceptionally specific thing that I think we should remove. But let's copy this. Yes, copy that one. Let's just create a new folder called preview protocol. And then we're going to shove it in there. Let's see. Boop. Preview protocol. Okay, I'm going to remove, as I said, the dev tools, but then we're going to go to preview script, and this is something we're going to actually add to this is something we're going to add to, let's just call it preview script. So this would be part of our sessions previews. You know what? We're going to create a folder for this one. New folder, previews. And do that. Let's rename this to index. And then we're going to have new file preview. And we're going to have our preview script. Yeah. And then preview protocol is going to be, oh, we can even put preview protocol inside previews now. That's going to be interesting. Cool. Yeah, and let's go through this. We don't need the tests. We know it's working. We can rather write them again. We're not going to have React DevTools. Define. Cool. Oh, at build time. Okay. What are these? Yeah, I should probably not have deleted those tests, but there we go. Yeah, allowed origins. So this is interesting. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. But this makes sense. Okay, interesting. Do we need to change that SDK repo to... I think we should just make these constants. Because the way we develop this now, let's see. Where are we? That was Sampack. Yes. Cool. So we have constants here. Let's see. Allowed inline origins. So emit source map. Emit source. Okay, we're gonna review this and see what it does. But before that, I want to see. Yeah, we should not initialize React Dev Tools. Initialized. It's just insane all the stuff we have here. Like we have so many features. Yeah, this is so interesting. Like we even allowed you, like we had insane cool features. What we allowed you to do or plan to do is like you could create your own like preview experiences where you could do like, you could create a sandbox where you called our preview API that would call focus file in our editor. But anyways, like this is the cool thing is like people can build this now. So they can have like custom experiences where maybe they inject information about what files are open. And then when they interact with the preview, you're going to actually focus files in the editor, in your own editor kind of thing. But I don't think we should have this because this is too specific. Focus file. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So these are the, yeah. Oh, where did we go? So global preview, we don't have that. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. I actually implemented this, but we're gonna remove this now because we don't have that thing. This is something that consumer of the SDK can inject themselves. Oh, this is so cool. I'm so happy that I'm working on this stuff again. I'm super pumped. Okay, no focus file message, but we do need to go and grab the types for the thingy. No, wait. CodeSandbox applications, types. We need, let's just copy this and then we're gonna do, oh, God, I'm so bad at navigating between these windows. So we're gonna have, oh, no, let's just do this. And we don't have focus file. We don't have sandpack message. I don't think we have to dev tool. I think we have set URL and reload. But you can actually create your own messages here. That's the cool thing. Yeah, let's remove focus file message. Okay. The CodeSandbox client. I wonder where service worker public path. I wonder where this was used. It said it used it. Find in folder. Yeah, maybe this is old stuff. Where could that have been used? So this is when it built. Where are you, picture protocol? Where did you go? There we have preview protocol. What was it? Wait a minute, picture protocol. No, preview protocol, sorry. This is the, yeah, I wrote some information about it. Previews and CodeSandbox. The preview protocol script that is injected. into the previous of code. Oh, sorry. This is... Oh, sorry. Yeah, wait, we don't need this. Sorry. This okay. It's a complex architecture. Like this script is actually the script that's injected in the previews. This is not something that we should change. But what does that mean? 4,000 picture. Oh, yeah. So this is a problem. We only allow certain... Yes, this is a problem. This is what I meant about domain restriction. So currently we only allow CodeSandbox IO to be able to inject. Okay, we need to ask about this. By the way, common needs to inject scripts into preview. I thought it was an excellent opportunity to introduce our previous scripts into the SDK. We have so much awesome injection stuff, etc. Injection stuff, listen to changes in the preview, etc. Problem though, origin. We only allow communication from CodeSandbox IO. On how we should solve this. Like the thing is that like the thing I'm wondering is it really a security concern? Like if someone else loaded up a sandbox preview and you could like inject stuff into it. Like you have to have a host frame anyways. Do we really need that restriction? What is the security concern? Yeah, I wonder. Like, is it really a security concern that if you load a sandbox preview as an iframe on your site, is it a security concern that from your site you're injecting stuff into that preview? Yeah, because like in what way would that be a security concern? Because if you have an unsafe domain, because this previous can't show anything, it doesn't really matter that it's... did I write anything about this, maybe? Yeah, I think I did. This feature relies on code injection, which is highly unsafe. If precautions are not made, in our case, we make the following. We handle, inside the protocol preview, we handle message from one domain, the CodeSandbox URL environment variable. Yeah, but what is the problem? Because if you're hosting the iframe and you're injecting something into the iframe, someone has to visit your host frame, which means that you could already do whatever you wanted. With that user. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna ask some ChatGPT stuff here. So we have this preview URL that we host. Currently only a single domain name is these preview URLs contains different things our users build with code. That's, yeah. Currently only a single domain name is allowed to send messages to this preview when it is shown as an iframe. Currently only a single is allowed to send messages to this preview when it is shown as an iframe. But I am wondering what the real security concern is here. Does it really matter if any host loads up an iframe to these? So I think maybe it was because of us passing tokens or something. Hello there. So we're gonna review that. To these previews, to these, yeah, and sends messages to them. Yeah, I'm gonna ask that first. Yeah, but anyways, we don't actually need the preview protocol inside the SDK. I messed up my thoughts on this. So we already have the preview protocol. We just need a preview script. Oh, types TS. Even if you're why unauthorized commands? The NSX load iframe send it type run build payload. And why is this a problem? Yeah, yeah. I guess they're like sometimes responds back with results. A hostile host could embed the iframe sentiments. So the interactions with the preview are completely isolated. By default, it only sends back and forth information about the current location and URL changes. the host can send and inject code to the preview. Oh. Yeah, but it's like, yeah. Could it be that like if you have an API in that iframe, and if you were to open your, no, that doesn't matter. The host can send and inject code to the preview, can send inject custom code to the preview. That is the only dynamic part of it. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it ambiguous things and then we're gonna explore. Still carries real risk. Untrusted code. By design, your preview runs arbitrary. JS, the host sends you. Any attacker can embed your iframe and push malicious scripts into it. Okay, so what it means. Yeah, but I still don't quite understand this because maybe it's because I'm not explaining that these are like mine credentials. Like, yeah, but there aren't any credentials. Ever asked the preview to do innocuous things, navigate show widget, but without the origin checks and things? I think it's because yeah, and like in a iframe, you can't even sign in because you don't really have. Origin checks, token handshakes. Yeah. How are we gonna solve this? I guess what we could do is check for the. We could check for the. No, I don't understand why it's a problem. Because we're not like host. Okay, so what if we allowed CodeSandbox IO to receive any message from a host, which is weird. We would never do that. But what if we did that? And someone built like a localhost fake page and put CodeSandbox IO in an iframe there. But I do not understand what you could do differently from hosting this iframe compared to just visiting the site and using the console. Bombard it with post message call. Under their credentials. Yeah, but they're not. I don't understand. Okay, so if they're signed, okay. but that means they need to be signed into. I don't think that works anymore. Like, can you even sign into an iframe? I don't think OAuth allows you to sign into an iframe. Anyways, but that means they need to be signed into. But that means they need to create a fake site knowing the preview URL of some random project and that development preview of the project. Yeah, so the thing is, so these previews are development previews of some code. To be able to get any data, this preview would first have to be given to some user that signs into it, and then then the same user needs to be lured into a fake site mounting the preview to then extract details. Yeah, because then if you open that fake site, you were signed in on that iframe. This fake site could go and make API calls on your behalf. it's angry with me. The re-authenticates on your fake because the browser will send along the user's cookies to any iframe whose URL is on your preview domain. Okay, but that makes sense. Like, it's insanely unlikely. Because these are development previews. Tight iframe sandboxing. Okay. Yeah, I see. But the use case here is previews representing coding projects in development. They would never be tied to, well, I guess like if you sign in with Google, maybe you could do any production data. Even if you were signed in with, for example, Google, could someone really get any info out of that? Code tokens are secrets and their builds. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see. Yeah, there's a definite domain issue there. How are we gonna handle this? This sucks. So we can make our like ask users to explicitly sign up for this, and we kind of extend the sources we allow. Damn it. Dagnagit. Yeah, we're definitely not going to finish this today. But it kind of sucks. Now the thing is that you also need a preview token to be able to open it if it's a private sandbox. I wonder if there's a way we could make the preview protocol only work on private sandboxes. But it doesn't know anything about that. This was discouraging. And I wasn't promising anything. I was saying we need to check the domain risks. Well, I think what we could do is, because we are passing a preview token, so we could check if we actually have. Yeah, you know what? This is interesting, because what we can do is that we can check if we have a preview token cookie. How does that look like? CodeSandbox IO. Let's see. Whatever. Do we have anything running here? We do. And this, how do we debug this? I want to look at application storage. Can I choose frames? There we go. So that would be this thing. Can I look at, JavaScript. Can I look at the cookies? I'm gonna check the cookies of, of course, I check it on the thing here. So that would be this one. Is it CC cookie? Do we say anything about that on the website? Preview tokens. Using the tokens, blah, blah, blah. Managing. Put the preview token in the cookie. Guardian. Oh, preview token. There we have it. Okay, so if I remove this token, delete it, then we'll go in and refresh the thing. Is this? Oh, it's unlisted. This is going to be private, sorry. Why does this work? Okay, I'm going to clear all the cookies. Clear all the cookies. Why does this work? I am confused. Damn it. Where's that? There it is. Don't we have... I thought we passed a token here. I'm... Accept all. Oh. Interesting. Let's see. Application. Yeah, so this is just, there is no preview token here. Damn it. I have to understand this better. Yeah, no, I can't figure this out on my own. I have to pick up our... that sucks. Okay, but I can't do anything else than just ask a couple of colleagues about this. And then I think a solution could be that we need to generate the preview token. As long as you have a preview token, then you're allowed to use the preview protocol. Because then you have to actually generate the token from the API to make the preview even work. And that gives you access. That makes a lot of sense. I was thinking we could check for the preview token cookie and only then allow it. So if you generate a preview token from the server, you can use the preview protocol features. Okay, cool. I have to go and pick up our youngest, and then we'll work some more on this tomorrow. Cool. Bye-bye.